We are live, and Felipe is just. Oh, there we go.
Oh, Felipe just right in time.
Oh. Felipe
Yeah,
has muted himself, but never mind.
I will be doing audio only today, just so you know.
Oh, that's a shame. I want to see Copper.
Maybe I'll show you copper, but you won't see me.
And we still need to have a chat anyway, Felipe. Right, we're live, so let's get on with it. Don't wait for the grass to grow. Felipe, would you like to kick us off, seeing the Mac is running late?
Sure, absolutely. Well, welcome everyone. Happy that you have joined us for another Social Saturday Chat Live. We are here again on the new platform of doing it through StreamYard. So if you are watching us, it is a little bit different, but we are still able to do audio or video. So today I'm doing audio, Zion's doing video. We'll see what the other co-hosts come and join us to do. But for today, we are excited to have you all here. It's great to see Adrian already in the chat. Please let us know where you are watching us from. Let us know what city, state, country, so that we can really just have an idea of how global this conversation is going to get. Because these kind of rooms, we always have great topics that we tackle. We always have great guests that we tackle, and this is a chance for us to continue to enjoy those conversations and get to know people, and for us obviously to network with each other and really build these meaningful connections that we have. So with today's topic, obviously we are what the topic is, where do we go for personal support? And I think that's a topic that a lot of us can resonate with. I know that a lot of times asking for help, for personal support, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of bravery. It's not easy to do for a lot of people. Some people are not comfortable being vulnerable. So when you have that need for that personal support, it's something that we all could work on that a little bit better, because when we are able to ask for that help, it's a sign of courage and a sign of intelligence that you know that, hey, there are certain things that I am just not strong enough or good enough at, that I might need some guidance or training or support on. So, I'm sorry. So, if that resonates with you, I look forward to hearing from all of you all down here. It's great to see Melanie Richards in the comments, David Pushkin, great to see you as well. But for those of you that are joining us, whether you're joining us live or joining us on replay, let us know if you're team live in the comments or team replay. We want to see those comments, cracking. And it's great to see Melanie. Melanie, I did not know that you were in New York. I didn't realize that you were that close. I know that Adrian was from New Jersey, but that just makes me wonder how we all can get together now. And David, of course, you're from the UK. Your accent gives it away. Mohammed's from West Africa. Thank you for being here from Sierra Leone. Um, we have Abby. Oh God, I'm going to chop up your name, but is it Abitika, Abit Geka Allen? I hope I even got close to that, from Uganda. So it's great to see you. And Meryl Cass, our long-standing supporter, coming from the snow-covered northern New Jersey. We are snow-covered here as well, Meryl. The 2 inches we got this morning, blanket and everything was so cold that it all stuck. But I will say that we got these thick plastic curtains for our back tents. Mac, you would love it. It's all, I got to send you a picture. It's all well lit. It looks toasty warm. I put a little heater in there and I plugged it in, and it popped the circuit breaker. So I got to figure out how to do the heater. But it's still warm and cozier than being out in the cold. So it's great to see people here again. Christy, thank you for joining us. And thank you again for letting us know if you're team live or team replay, because that's the great thing about this new format. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic around so we can do some quick introductions. But before I do introductions, I want to remind people that if you are not following us on our LinkedIn homepage, give the Social Saturday Chat page a follow so you get notified of the events as we have them going on. Also, don't forget, these events are recorded, so we are able to put them into our podcast, and you can listen to them in the past, either here on LinkedIn or on your favorite podcast, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify. So make sure you check that out. with that being said, for those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Felipe Cofino. I'm a passionate HR executive, a career coach, a LinkedIn enthusiast. Um, Obviously, I have the pleasure of co-hosting with this amazing crew here on Saturdays. I also do rooms on Sundays with Melissa Houston. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., we have careers, chaos, and coaching. And then every other Monday, I do the workplace wellness hour. So, very passionate about giving back on LinkedIn, building our community, and sharing our knowledge. And this team here is the epitome of that. We've been doing this for over 2 years now, thanks to our leader Mac. And Mac, again, I want to say great minds think alike. I don't want to compliment ourselves too much, but both of us shaved around the same time. I don't, your beard was much more predominant than my goatee, but it's funny how like our lives just are very much in sync. So if anything happens, good or bad to your daughter, let me know because chances are my daughter's probably like if my daughter gets engaged, I'm gonna let you know first, so to prepare you. But with that being said, let me pass it on to Zion to do his introduction and initial thoughts about this topic. Over to you, Zion.
All right, thank you so much, Felipe, for kicking us off today. It's always a privilege. Happy Saturday to everyone who has joined us from all over the world. And like I said, keep dropping in your comments. Tell us where you are joining us from all over the world so we can be able to shout you out, on the screen because this event is made possible because you are always there coming in to support us, to encourage us. And to my co-host, Mark, Felipe, Marta, Joe, I know our other coaches are not here right now, but then they send their love and their appreciation. I know they really love to be here because it's always exciting, it's always amazing to be on this call with every one of us. Okay, for those who don't know me, I know we are doing this live now. It used to be audio, but now you can see our faces. My name is Zion Inogeru, and I'm joining you all the way from Nigeria. I'm your Mr. Positive Energy because I'm on a mission to spread positivity to every corners of the earth. We live in a time where there's so much negativity all around and the media is not even helping issues. But for me, I believe everyone has the ability to stay positive and pushing positivity one person at a time is a mission I'm on, to help people embrace a positive life intentionally. For me, positivity has gone beyond just a thought, has gone beyond just a word. It has become a life. And a life I'm teaching other persons to be able to embrace. And today's topic is a very interesting one. Where do you go when you need support? I love it when Felipe said earlier, it's difficult for us to go out sometimes because to be vulnerable, it takes a whole lot of strength to be vulnerable. We live in a world where people judge you, people condemn you because of what they know about you. If they don't know, they cannot judge you. If they don't know, they cannot condemn you. But because they know they have a clue, they tend to judge you, they tend to condemn you. And that has stopped many persons from going out for personal support. But this topic today is just to encourage us. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to go out. It's okay to seek for help. It's okay to tell somebody, I'm not feeling good today. I'm not okay. For me, I'm on a mission to spread positivity to every corners of the earth. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% positive every day. There are days I wake up, I don't feel like it. I feel tired. I feel overwhelmed. There are days I feel anxious. I feel frustrated. It still happens. But then because I can be able to still go out and seek for help. And one thing is having positive people around you, having a good cycle. It's very, very important. Having friends, having families in your cycle who are there to support you, to encourage you. For me, it's one thing I do for personal support. There are days I reach out to Mark. Oh, Mark, can we talk? Can we book a call? Can we do this? We get to talk and we get to share things and brainstorm together, and boom, what can be overwhelming sometimes, what can look challenging sometimes, because I'm able to speak to him and speak to people, it goes a long way for me to bounce back and get stronger. One major point I want to say is having a coach and a mentor. It's very key and very, very important. This is something I do not take for granted because at the end of the day, all you know is not all there is to know. If you think you've known, if you think you've arrived, there's still more to know. There's still more to get. So putting yourself out there to gain more knowledge, to gain more wisdom from people, because each and every one of us, we all have different experiences. We all have different things we have seen in life. And because of our different experiences, we all have different perspective when it comes to finding solution, when it comes to, finding, being able to solve problem. So talking to people, having a coach, having a mentor can go a long way, for you to have personal support. I'll say again, don't be shy, be open enough, free. And that's why we have this community here, a community where we support one another, a community where you are not judged, a community where you are not condemned, a community where nobody looks down at you. So it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter your past, your present, or your future or experience. We are always here to support you, to let you know that you are more than enough, to let you know that you are worthy, you are loved, you are appreciated, you are supported. And if you are going through any challenge right now, you need support. That people on stage right now, I can vouch for them because I've spoken to them, I've reached out to them several times. They can be able to put you through and share with you deep wisdom, deep insight on their personal experience. And I'm sure there's so much to be shared today. So that's my thought on this topic today. Thank you so much, Felipe. I think I'll pass the mic now to Mark. Yes, so you can introduce himself and share more about the topic. Mr. Mark, the mic is yours.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Listen, I just love sitting over here, and you know, this room's been running for over 2 years now, and the ability to kind of sit back and just watch what we've created and the people we've brought together. And I love the fact that Mr. Positivity himself says, hey, I'm not positive every day, but he strives for it. And the last couple of years, we've seen some rather tough conversations that we've had here on LinkedIn. And we've covered topics from neurodiversity to music to workplace wellness, mental health, all kinds of things. And sometimes it gets a bit uncomfortable, because we have real conversations here. And I love the topic of where do we go for personal support, because this is one that I find tough, because I'm one of those people who likes to, keep quiet, just freaking fight on, and not talk to anybody else. It's my problem. I'll deal with it. And the challenge with that is it's an extremely dangerous way of doing things. For somebody who spends so much time on LinkedIn and networking internationally, even though you can have thousands of followers and all these people around you, and like Zion said, appear to because people will judge you because they can see you, and the reality is what you see online is not always what's going on in real life. And for me, I try and be as transparent as possible, but I'm one of those people who doesn't kind of air my problems online or my challenges online. And every now and then I get the courage to say something, but most of the time I just shut up and kind of move forward. But one of the things that I've learned through our community is how powerful it can be to have a safe place to come and be able to, connect with people on a deeper level and be able to share. So I just want to thank the community that we have. Those of you that are watching here on, whether it be on the replay with this new format or whether you're here live, we'd love to hear from you. So please, come and drop in on the comments. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know, where do you go for personal support? We want to know. This is the conversation. But with that, I'm exhausted of my own voice now, and my batteries are running out because I've just been talking too much. But I want to pass the mic over to Martha, and then Martha can pass to Lark to introduce themselves and give their insight on this wonderful topic. And then, if you haven't got the link already, go and look in the comments. We'll drop the link again if you want to join us up on stage.
Thank you so much, Mac. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I didn't arrive on time. I've been having internet issues today. I'm loving this conversation. I can't wait to jump into it. A little bit about me. I am an advocate here in the community, Monterey County, which is a little town in California. And also, I am a founder as well of Connect Impact Hub, where our mission is to end homelessness, and a humanitarian. So all those combined, I'm just Martha, a human being, just like everyone else that's here, combining all my skills to bring people together to really make a difference in every community. Where do we go for personal support? This is a very sensitive, even sentence, just reading it out loud. Many of us have our own weaknesses, and we don't really share those out loud. It's a sensitive subject. But there is support, and where to go for that support is the question, because a lot of us will stay silent. And like Mac, we're going to figure it out on our own. So we do tend to and I won't speak for Mac, but for me, I learned something in 2024. And Mac, thank you for reaching out and checking up on me, and Zion, Joel, and Lark, and Felipe, and so many wonderful people on LinkedIn, because literally you all came to my rescue in so many ways. Mental health support, just someone to be there, to talk to, holding my hand along my journey. I mean, the importance of having that community and where to go for support. And then also seeking your personal support with whether it's family or even healthcare. There's a lot of support within the healthcare system that a lot of us don't know. So I'll pass the mic over. I'm not sure who's next. I'm so sorry.
Lark.
Is it Lark? Okay,
It's Lark.
thank you.
Hi guys. I'm on the road today, so no camera. But yes, greetings from St. Lucia. It's a beautiful day. Always happy to say that and share that with you all, because it may not look that way outside of where you are. So yeah, I love this subject. I love this topic. Where do you go to for personal support? Yeah, I guess by way of introduction, Lark Ambrose, I do actually work with mental fitness and helping people to recalibrate so that they are okay and that they can function. And one of the core elements of that is always knowing where to go to for support. So many people feel that they do not have reliable sources of support. And what I'd like to share is sometimes I think we want to find all of our needs buried and housed in one person. And sometimes that's just not possible. It's just not true. And it's okay to have multiple people or sources or places that you go to for emotional and spiritual and financial and for all of the different types of support that we may run into at different points in our lives. So I think when we get okay with understanding that and embodying that and embracing that, then we can navigate so much more easily. We can navigate so much more easily. So, yeah, that's my contribution so far to this subject. I'm just looking forward to how it's going to unfold, and hear all of the comments and conversations that we have. It's always timely to have a conversation such as this, and I think our Social Saturday chat always offers an amazing platform for us to just share and to hear, and to support each other. So with that, I yield the mic.
Well, I love that. And I know that, I'm going to have my camera on in a minute here, you all, because I'm going to go outside with Copper so that Joel can see Copper and y'all can see the wonderful snow that we got here and that Meryl has in New Jersey. But I have a question for all of you on here. How often, well, actually, let me rephrase that. How easy is it for you to encourage someone to seek professional or personal help or support versus how easy it is for you? And what have you done to overcome that fear of asking for personal support? Because here's one thing I want everyone to think about. Not everyone knows how to give that support. And I'll give you an example. I've shared very publicly that I've dealt with anxiety for the last 15 years. If I'm talking to somebody that I love in my family that's never dealt with anxiety, they are going to be as supportive as they can. But if I talk to somebody who has dealt with anxiety, they're going to resonate and support me in ways that I need. And sometimes we get frustrated. Oh, well, my family's not supportive. Well, it's not that they're not being supportive. Sometimes they're not the right person, and we just don't realize that. And we get frustrated because, well, they're the person that loves me the most. Okay, they do love you the most. They just don't have the ability or the skill set or the experience to be able to support you the way you need. And sometimes you need that professional help, or you just need that person that, hey, you've dealt with this before. I'm having an issue. Can I chat with you about it? Oh, of course. And this could be something as simple as anxiety, or, hey, you've lost a parent. I've lost a parent. You can resonate with this. Can I talk to you? So finding that common ground. But what's it been for you all? Because for me, it really was what started off me being more vulnerable was when I lost my father and realizing how many of the people had lost their father and how many of them had had a difficult time with it, where I thought I was alone. And I was able to start opening up and seeing the benefits of opening up and asking for that support. So, Mac, I saw you nodding a lot. What are your thoughts? I'll go to you first. And Mac, I think you're on mute.
I was, and when you were saying you were taking cop out, my dog MacGyver's just decided to come and say hi to me over here. So apologies, I lost the question there, Felipe. You're going to have to remind me.
So the question is, what was that moment that helped you realize that asking for personal support was actually a good decision? Like, when was it that moment that you had?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because I come from a part of the world where, and a lot of the different parts of the world have this where men are supposed to be not show emotion, keep quiet, just battle on, and you don't have your SH1T together if you don't come across as somebody who's always strong and knows what they're doing. But I've been it's a weird way of saying it, but I guess I've been blessed with many traumas in my life, and each one that has taught me a lesson. Some of them harder than others, and when I look at somebody like my father as an example, who passed away 3 years ago now. I look at his journey, and he comes from a very hardcore, staunch Dutch background, and never really showed his emotions. And I remember him, saying once, I said to him, "Hey, you need to remind Mom that you love her," and say, he goes, "Well, I told her that, and then we got married, so she knows. I mean, like, why do I have to say anything again? I mean, like, I'd let her know if things changed." And I was like, so you get to say I love you once, and then you must just remember that, and that's it. And he was in his earlier part of his life, an earlier chapter, a very closed off human being, very defensive, and he even didn't like some of my friends and all kinds of things. And I was like, because he got taught to be a certain way. But I watched him go through these changes of, he was like, my dad and I fell out quite a bit when I was younger because he was not open to the world being different to what he was taught when he was younger. Now, he was born in the 1940s, so very different to what we are now. And, and I'll be honest, he was homophobic, he was racist, he was like all these things that I couldn't get my head around. Like him and I fell out because he didn't want me to bring friends home because he didn't understand them on their cultures and where they came from. If you're from a different race and then you are, maybe homosexual as well, that was like a double up confusion for him. Like he was like, this doesn't go with what I've learned or what I've been taught. But when I spoke at my dad's memorial after he passed away, and I looked out into the audience, and the cultural diversity that was in that audience, I mean, you know, there were people from all walks of life, all different races, and they became best friends with my dad. And when I watched that he could change by allowing his facade to come down and give people an opportunity to hear their side and learn, okay, this person's from a different culture. That's interesting. I like that. But also be able to give his opinion and be able to take it on the chin when somebody says something different was quite an eye opener for me. And that's one of the things, you know, where I kind of learned that it's, you know, change is firstly possible because he was evidence of that. But when it comes to, you know, that personal support, that only happened through the support of family members allowing him to be able to express himself and learn. Because I know how stubborn we can be as human beings. And, you know, wars are started because people don't understand other people. And it's like, well, I don't like you, so let's just fight for the hell of it. And every single war is around the world is because of differences of opinion. You know, you don't like, and people trying to impose their own way onto others. And this is where, for me, that being able to have a safe place. Yeah, unfortunately, our families aren't, you know, not everybody is blessed with having a family that's understanding and open. So when we do have that, we need to really appreciate that. And when we've got a community like we have here on Social Saturday Chat, I mean, the blessings we've had, the conversations we've had, some of the people that have come up here. I mean, I remember in our third episode or fourth episode, a man came on and he was talking. He was, you know, coming from Afghanistan or somewhere in the Middle East, and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm about to go on this journey because we're in war, and I may never speak to you guys again, but I'm aiming to land up in a safer place." And he was this very well educated doctor, and I'm sitting there going, "Wow!" Like, you know, we have this community where somebody feels safe enough to come and tell us that he is, you know, under fire and he's leaving his country, and he will let us know how he's doing when he gets to the other side, wherever that may be. And we've seen so many amazing stories come out here that I think, you know, I can't stop Social Saturday Chat because it's much bigger than I am. And it's here to be able to give people that place of a personal support. So anyway, Felipe, you asked, I've just kind of thrown it out there and thrown up a lot of words. I hope that makes sense.
No, but I mean, I think you shared a lot of valuable things in there. And you know, it's one of those things where those experiences, when you talked about your father, one thing that really kind of came to mind is there's so many people that we have made assumptions about. Like, oh, I have an old relative, you know, they grew up this way, they're just so racist. What I realized is that they grew up saying things that sound inappropriate or racist or wrong. Now think about this. How many things have we grew up with that we said when we were younger that today we would never say? It's not that to say, let me understand the person before I assume that they're as bad as I think they are because of one comment that they may have said because it slipped up. So I think it's one of those things where I just slipped up the other night in front of my kids, and I was like, wait, let me finish my sentence before you judge me, because I know how that first half of that sentence sounded. It sounded really bad, but when you hear the rest of the sentence, you understand why I was saying it that way. I know that because so much all that it happens to me. Shortly, I was like, I'm judging them. Okay, so I think we have to be able to seek to understand more. Sorry. And the other thing is, for the support, I want to remind people something about this. Have so many.
Are you having coming? Your signal seems to be coming in and out, losing every other word. Was it something I said? Because I was just commenting on the lag, and then all of a sudden he just threw his toys and left. I'm joking. Philippe,
Is that any better?
That's a little bit better. Apologies,
No?
you came back on stage and I removed you as opposed to putting you back on. But go for it, Felipe. You were saying.
Well, no. I'll stop there. I don't want to go in and out again. But who was next about answering that question? Anyone have any experience they want to share? As we invite people to come up on stage, don't forget. Mac, did you put the link already in the comments?
Felipe, what was the question, Felipe? I'm so sorry.
Am I coming in and out again?
It's frozen.
Yeah. Felipe,
right.
we're...
Maybe it was the plastic. So is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Stand by.
We're gonna get a tour. We're gonna get a tour now.
All right. Is this better?
He's going to the peak of the mountaintop. Perfect. Crystal clear.
No, I came down from the mountaintop. Is this good? All right. Anyways, all I was saying was that do you have a personal experience where you asked for personal support and it was kind of that aha moment for you where you realized I need to be okay with asking for support more in the future? This was really a good experience. Were you able to hear any of that or no?
Yeah, I was. Thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely can share a little bit about my experience with personal support. Typically, how I would deal with my personal things that happen in life is I would just stay to myself. I would literally close all the curtains and just deal with my depression or deal with my issues by myself, because I felt like if I shared, then that would be me welcoming more negativity into my life. He said, she said, and because I've been down that route where I was vulnerable and I was sharing too much, and then it was a lot of gossip. And so then that was mentally affecting me. So why should I even share if the people that I'm supposed to be trusting and giving them my information that I think they're going to be there for me are turning around and gossiping? And I think this is actually normal because I hear this often, especially in the work that I do. People don't go to family for support. They would rather figure things out on their own and actually live in outside or in their cars than to tolerate what the family's going to say, because nobody wants to be judged, right? Especially when you're going through a difficult stage in life. Nobody wants to be judged, or even if you're dealing with a medical condition, you don't want people telling you what to do. You want to try to figure out something for yourself. And I think that's where stubbornness comes in too, right? It's so many emotions that go into that. And it's where is it safe to go? And so this is why this question came up, where do we go for personal support? Would you rather go to someone you don't know versus someone you do know? So yeah, this journey of vulnerability, I seen someone in the chat, David, he said, vulnerability is dope and there's opportunity even when dealing with loss. right? And it could be loss of a loved one. It could be even someone that you're no longer talking to you. But how do we get past that? So finding your tribe, finding your tribe is so important. Having that community that you can be vulnerable, and you're not, they're not going to judge you, but they're going to tell you what you need to hear so you can get past that. And some of us can handle that, and some of us can't. So we'd rather just close off, but we have to break those barriers to move past it, to find your tribe. That's definitely something that I've learned just in 2024 is I found my tribe. And it's okay to say you don't know this, you don't know that, because when you're vulnerable, you cannot think straight. I don't care. You cannot think straight. And it's difficult to keep things together when you're in a very bad position. So find your tribe. And if you don't have a tribe, reach out, but be prepared. Sometimes you may hear what you want to hear, and sometimes you may not. So you'll have to find your own tribe. And yes, sometimes there'll be people will come and go, but you'll eventually end up finding your tribe.
Wow. It's thank you so much, Martha. Let me jump in there. I think I have my own personal story too. And I love the fact that Mark shared earlier about his dad. For me, growing up in an African community, in an African system, it's always you have to man up, man don't cry, man don't show weakness. You have to just man up. They don't want to know how bad it is, just man up. I remember losing my dad 13 years ago. I was still very much more younger. And they're like, you don't have to cry, you're a man of the house, you don't have to cry. Like, okay, okay. Well, I didn't actually cry. I had to buckle it up. But I tell you, buckling it up was the most challenging time for me because all the pressure was within. The tears wasn't coming out in my eyes, but my heart was bleeding, literally bleeding. I was mentally strained. At this point in my life, I felt like, committing suicide. I felt like killing myself. It was as bad as that. Because why? The society say, man up, don't cry, don't show your weakness. You have to be there for people. And so I grew up with that mindset, being there for people, being strong for people. So if I'm showing weakness, people will not come to me because they feel I'm not strong. I used to think like that. But coming into the online space actually changed my perspective, changed my approach to life to see that, whoa, all I knew growing up is not all there is to life. What the society is telling me is not all there is to live life. So being vulnerable, I thought was weakness growing up because of how my mind was being programmed was actually strength. Because it takes somebody who is strong to be vulnerable. It takes someone who is strong to actually say how they truly feel. We live in a world people will pretend. People will act like things are okay, just not for you to have a perception towards them, not for you to have a way of thinking towards them. They will try to act up. Are you okay? I'm okay, I'm fine. But deep down, they are not okay. Coming into the online space actually made me realize, whoa, it takes someone who is mentally strong enough to actually say, this is how I truly feel. I'm tired. I'm weak. I'm not okay. Right now, things are not going the way I want it to go. To actually come out and share. So for me, coming into the online space was a game changer for me. Having people coming in to share, to talk about their experience. I've done XYZ. These are the challenges. That's why people are so good to talk about the good side of the stories. They don't talk about the challenges. My mentor will always say, you learn more from challenges than the success you have. And it takes vulnerability for you to talk about the challenge, to talk about the obstacle, to talk about what you face and how you overcame it. It's easy to talk about the sweet things. Oh, I did this. I had this milestone. I achieved XYZ. But how did you get there? There were challenges. There were difficult times. There were times you didn't feel like doing it. There were times you feel like I don't want to go on anymore. Sharing these stories are what inspire people, are what motivate people. Because I tell you, whatever it is you are doing right now, there are thousands of people that are looking forward to you, to hear your story, to hear what you have been through, to find hope, to find courage, to find the passion and the fire to keep living. So being vulnerable, it's very powerful. Tell people your story, let people know you for who you are. There is no need to pretend, there is no need to act up. Being your true self, being your authentic self, for me, setting is how we set the example for other people to know. Because I know for many persons listening to us right now, you're having challenges with finding personal support. You don't want to go hard. You don't, you feel like I can solve it all by myself. Yes, you can actually solve it by yourself, but it will take you a longer time to solve it than talking to people, having people's idea, having people's perspective. So that's my share on this. Thank you so much. I think Felipe is back right now, so we yield the mic back to Felipe.
I don't know. Am I back? Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, you're back. We can hear you.
All right. I had changed from the 2.4 Wi-Fi to the regular Wi-Fi. That's why. Well, thank you for sharing that. That was a very great share, Zion. And I think, again, it goes to show you how we have to normalize this conversation about, mental health, because the one thing I think Zion said is that, this platform helped him. I think it's helped many of us when we're having difficult times to have other people out there that could relate, be supportive in a way that was helpful, to find resources to help us. So there's so much valuable information out there, and this community has been nothing but amazing during a pandemic, during crises, during political issues, during people being unhoused, during fires, floods. I mean, the world's going through a lot. I mean, and shout out to everyone out there in Los Angeles. I'm praying for them, because I can't even imagine just how horrific that is right now, because seeing the videos, the wind, I mean, it's like a hurricane and a fire without any rain. That's pretty much what it is. So people asking for support, sometimes they shouldn't have to ask. Prime example, people in Los Angeles, we know they need support. What can we do? It's not, everyone can't give money. Maybe it's other ways you can give support, but there's always ways that you can give support. It's just asking yourself what it is that you can do. So, Joel, how about you? Where have you had a positive experience where you've asked for personal support and it really kind of opened your eyes to doing it more?
I think the person to my left might, which is not everyone's screen, might get sick and tired of his numerous phone calls, which he gets every single other day or every single other hour. But my personal support begins and ends with Mac, really. And I've lost my headphones. Oops. There we go.
I think it's possibly a lot wider than that, my friend.
Begins.
Just look around the room. Look around the room, my friend. Love the literal. Never mind, I'm leaving.
Wrong room there, Joel.
As far as business concerns.
Well, but Bailey's support. He's looking for Bailey, so that's true.
As far as business goes, it's Mac is the go-to chat, but as far as everyone else, everything goes. All of you and several other of my LinkedIn connections. I don't think all 5,000 of them, because I haven't spoken to everyone. But my mind's gone blank now. Yeah, my mind's gone completely blank.
Well, that's what I mean. I think Mac's a great example of people have their person, that person that is always there for them, whether they talk to them daily or every hour, or if they talk to them every other month or every 6 months. Having that person that will be there for you, that's special. That's amazing, and that's a unique thing to have. I know I've had people like that in my life. I have someone in my life like that where I know I can pick up the phone right now, call them, and they're going to be there They're going to listen to me. They're going to be supportive. They're going to offer me valuable insight if I want it. They'll come here in person if they need to. You know, those are the people that really are so amazing. But the key thing is that they listened. That they listened to the person. And Mac is a great listener. And obviously, Joel calling you every hour on the hour, you know, you have to be a good listener to do the hell with that. So I love that, Joel. Lark, I know you're driving. I don't know if you're able to share, but I don't want to skip you.
Did you call on me?
Yeah, I just didn't know if you were able to share about any personal
Oh, there you
experiences.
go.
Yeah. Do you have any personal
Sure thing.
experiences? Are you able to share?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure thing. So in my picture, I actually today updated my picture there, and I'm holding someone. This woman who, you know, she became such a core support person to me throughout the years. Um, I called her my mom, sister, best friend, all rolled into one. This is a woman whom I had not known until mid adulthood. Um, and it was just amazing. She is one of those people who broke through personal, you know, heights, where she came from, what she was able to achieve. You know, she worked on Wall Street. She walked away. She just provided me with such inspiration, because there are things I had thought about or wanted to do or didn't even dare think about out loud. But I saw her modeling certain behavior. And so when it was time for me to make major decisions, you know, she became such an important sounding board. Um, she would not hesitate from poking holes in grandiose theories that I would have, or amazing ideas or projects or things that I wanted to embark upon. And yet, things like when I wanted to go join the Peace Corps or something, you know, she was right there. She was right there, releasing me into the world to do another adventure. And always being such an anchor whenever I came back. So, yeah, that person, her name is June. She's literally fighting for her life right now. So this is a particularly, you know, touching time, touch and go time for her family. But it's just so important, I think, to have at least a person in your life who, you know, Martha said it earlier, may or may not be related by blood. And I have come to appreciate the saying that, you know, family, you're kind of born into a family, but then there's the family that you make and you create. She is as much as family as any blood relative that I own and have. So, yeah, as far as personal, yeah, that's the one person that would leap to mind, as a go-to resource that I would always bounce all kinds of things on, and she would always be so objective. And I think if I had to look at what was the quality that I valued most, which is what, when people are looking for support, like what exactly is it that you're looking for? With her, there are times when all I needed was, please keep quiet and listen while I have verbal diarrhea. There are times when what I need is your analytical ability, because you are a genius. You know, there are other times when I just need a cheerleader right now. And it's not clear. We are not always clear with what we want when we're looking for support. So finding someone who can determine that for you or help ask you that helps a lot. As a professional, you kind of learn and you do it for others, but sometimes one recognizes when we need support, we don't know how to ask for it because we're not clear on what type of support it is that we need. So I'll just land there, with understanding the types of support that we need, and being able to ask for that. So with that, I yield the mic.
Well, I love that. And I think, you know, it's wonderful when you have that person that has multiple levels of support they can provide you. Like you said, whether it's analytical, emotional, listening, financial, whatever the case may be. And that those are, again, people that we should let them know how much we appreciate their support, because sometimes those people take it for granted, and we've got to remember that, just because they're always there for you and like, oh, well, they're always willing to help, let them know that you appreciate them. Let them know you're grateful for them and how much you've been able to help, or they've been able to help you, because sometimes they don't realize it, and they probably do sometimes question, am I being taken for granted? Like my buddy back here, I don't want him to ever feel like he's being taken for granted, because he's been a great personal support to me over the years, through the pandemic, through loss. So he is somebody who I always count on. But I don't know if we have anybody in the green room, but I'm going to pass the mic on to Zion to continue the conversation. And I need to go get a charger because my iPad's going to die in about 5%. But with that, I just want to remind everyone, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Okay, it's again a sign of strength, and it ends up opening more doors than they close. So I encourage you all to come up. I think the link is in the comments, so go ahead and just, whether you add it to your browser or you do what I do, I downloaded the StreamYard app, and I love the StreamYard app. It makes it very easy. You just copy and paste it, and boom, there you are. So join us on stage. Let us know your thoughts about where you go for personal support. Share your success stories of what you've had, because by sharing your stories, you might be helping somebody else that's listening. So with that, Zion, I'll hand the mic over to you. Oh, hand the mic over to you, my friend.
All right, thank you so much, Felipe. It has been such a wonderful conversation thus far. Just to encourage people in the listening lounge, you have to come up on stage to share. On this platform, we have people from all over the world, in all the continents you can ever imagine, are in this place. And what a privilege for you to come up on stage and put yourself in the front of those people that needs to hear you. What we do here, beyond just talking about the topic, we give people visibility. You get seen, you get heard, people listen to you from all over the world. What a chance for you. So the link is already in the comment section. Do where to come on. Now, the reason why for me, I love different perspectives and people coming in here to share, it's because as our faces are different, so is our stories. We all have different stories, different background, different experience, and coming to share how those experiences has been able to transform and change our lives. For me, it's powerful. It comes with so much transformative power that you cannot just imagine. So don't be shy. And if you don't want to put on your camera, you feel, oh, you don't want them to see my beautiful faces or my handsome face, it's okay. You can take off the camera, but just do it to come in. The link is in there. I'm sure if we can see you in the green room, we'll definitely bring you up on stage, just to be able to share and come up on stage and inspire more people with your story, because that's what we do here. We are here to inspire, we are here to motivate, we are here to encourage one another in this community. And what somebody has to say can just be a catalyst to transform your life, to make you realize that being vulnerable is not actually weakness, it's strength. And coming to talk about, what do you do when you need personal support? Where do you go to? What action step do you take when you need personal support? So feel free to join us on stage. We'll be so glad to have you. For me, I just wanted to chip this in. One thing I do for personal support, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I'm glad to say this. It's, I go to church, I pray. One thing I do is prayer. It's only putting those things in prayer. Praying about it, going back to God, telling God how I feel, what is going on for me. It's very, very important. Having a pastors, leaders at church, for some persons, you tend to trust those in church more. That's okay. You can go meet your pastor, you can go meet your cell leader or your group leader. But as much as you are talking to somebody, it's key. The whole reason why this conversation is coming is you don't have to go through all you are going through all alone, all by yourself. You don't deserve to suffer those trauma. You don't deserve to suffer those mental breakdown all alone, all by yourself. Go for support, seek for support, talk to people, let people hear how you feel. There are different ways to do this. There are different ways to do that. That's why I'm also grateful for my online platform. Imagine on this stage, I'm far away in Nigeria, in Africa. We have Mark from the UK, Joel from the UK, Martha, Felipe, and Lark from the US. But yet, we are a team, we are a family, We'll talk, we'll reach out to one another, we're able to support one another. That's the beauty of having a community. That's the beauty of having each and every one of us in it. So if you want to weigh in the conversation, you want to join, come share with us a story on how you are able to find personal support, feel free. Like I said before, it's a free space, a space where everyone is given equal opportunity to share, to speak, to be seen, and to be heard. All right, we have Alelia Morris joining us and Clement. Yes, the link is in the comment section. Feel free to join us, and we'll be so glad to have everyone on stage. All right, Margaret is in the building. Wow, it's so good to have you on stage here, Margaret. Happy Saturday. I hope your weekend has been great. If you can hear me, you can unmute your mic and share with us what you do when you need personal support.
Hi, Zion. Happy Saturday, everybody. Mac, Joel, hello, friend. The beautiful, lovely sister, Marta, Lark, hola, Felipe, hola, hola, amigos. Yeah, so, did I forget anybody? I'm sorry if I did, but, who I go to support for, very, very few people. And yes, my brother Zion, when I don't have anybody to go to, if it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to go, and be like, hey, wake up somebody or whatever. I go to God too. I go to him because he's always there, non-judgmental, so, but very few people. But with this, I also think that support goes both ways, right? You have to show up and you have to be there for the other person as well. It's like a share and share, right? We share me, you share you with me, I share me with you. And it's very important. I was saying this in my jam yesterday of for such a time as this, and Felipe brought up LA, and so many things that happen, right? That people need support, whether it's fires, gun shooting, whatever kind of loss that people have, right? It's important to tell our community, hey, we're here for you. Reach out, send a word. Please reach out because we don't know what kind of state people are in, how vulnerable they are at that time. So it's important to know, hey, I'm here for you. If you ever need it, DM me, reach out the most. And then going both ways, if I know I don't hear from somebody, I'm reaching out. I'm DMing, I'm wondering, where are you? You're a huge supporter. I have often said, um, in my jams is, where's John H. Upchurch? Where's my friend? He's a huge supporter. So I've DM'd him. Last time we heard from him was December 25th. So I hope he hears this. I hope everything's okay. A few other people that I have reached out to, that we see, that we know they're in the community, right? Let's DM him. Let's ask him, hey, where are you? Let's do our part too. So, but thank you for this conversation. Thank you for this wonderful topic. And yeah, just being vulnerable right now and letting you all know. So thank you so much. And I resonated so much with your story, Marta. I'm sorry you went through that. I went through the same thing too, similar, very similar, but we can't let anything or anyone stop us. And everyone has a part to play in this world, right? Everyone has a part to play, whether it's good or not, whether it's negative or positive, and it's what we do with that negativity, how we allow that to affect us, how we show up, and how we continue to be who we are, who we were born to be, which is greatness. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Margaret. I think Zion had to jump off, but we appreciate you sharing all that. And it's so great to see you up here on stage. And all of you down in the chat, I just want to make sure that we recognize all of you, from Lillian to Clement to Kenneth, of course. Kenny, you need to come up here because I feel like you've kept Kenny at bay, and we would love to see Kenneth or Ken or Kenny. And Kifa, thank you for coming. And Meryl, yes, Copper is a very good boy. Copper just sits there and behaves so amazingly well. He could have stayed outside all day long. He loves the cold. So, but we have our next wonderful guest, Roy. It's great to see you, Roy. Please unmic and share your thoughts on this topic. The mic is yours.
Thanks so much, and good day to you from 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Sometimes I actually wonder if I'm crazy or not getting up at this time of the morning, but the only reason that I am, you're quite right. Yeah,
Absolute nuts.
anyway, I think that the topic itself has to do with the connection we have with specific people. You can't just reach out to anybody if you have no specific connection with them. And I think this is a time when you really will see, who your really good people are that you can actually lean into and lean on to. Because when you build good relationships, the real time when it gets tested is when things are really not going well. That's when you see the real true friendship come through. And I think that's what one needs to do in these times, is seek out the people that are really adding into your world in a meaningful way. And actions are far more important than words. There's so many people in this world that say, I'll do anything for you, but guess what? You try and call them, they don't even take your call. So words mean nothing. And I say that in inverted commas, because words obviously are important. It's the actions that we actually take that transform where people should be to where they really believe that they can be. But more importantly, the actions is what takes place for people that really care. And that's really what I wanted to say, is people that care take action. They don't tell you what they're going to do. They do it. My name is Roy, and I'm out.
Roy, I'm so glad you brought that up, because there are people that, and I'm not going to say all people pleasers are like that, but there are people that are always so willing to please that they take on too much. They can't please everyone, and they can't take on all the things that they said they would, and they end up falling short. So it is something that our desire to be supportive and our willingness to be supportive are two very different things. And you have to be willing to back up what you say, because your word means something. And when you give somebody your word that you're going to support them, they're probably relying on you for that. Imagine if you were moving. Everyone hates moving. Everyone hates having to pack up boxes, unpack. So when you ask somebody, hey, can you help me move this next Saturday? You get a team of like 5 people say, yeah, I'll be there. Saturday morning shows up at 8 a.m. and one person shows up. Like, where are the other 4 people? What kind of support is that? I mean, you're literally just lost 60% of your crew. So yeah, it's one of those things where it is important to make sure that as the person trying to give support, you don't take on too much, but also the person seeking support, that you're not asking somebody that's stretched too thin, because you might just be asking somebody like that's going to put you at the bottom of the list because they have too many other priorities. Any other thoughts? Go ahead.
Just one other thing, and that magical word "no" comes to mind. If you can't do something, say I can't do it. Don't say you can do it and then you don't show up. So I just wanted to recognize that, knowing when to say no and knowing when not to say no. My name is Roy Nama.
I love that. You're practicing the ability to say no, because no is not a 4-letter word, y'all. No one's going to get in trouble for saying no. Well, I shouldn't say that. At work, you might. But in normal life, say no, practicing it respectfully, saying, I'm sorry, I wish I had the ability or the time. I can't do it. One of my favorite lines from the show Friends, it was like, I think one of the first episodes of the season 1, where somebody was asking Phoebe, oh, would you like to come over and help us build this new bookshelf? And she's like, oh my gosh, I really wish I could, but I don't want to. And I was like, I love that answer. And she did it with such sincerity and such joy. It's like, oh, I really wish I could, but I don't want to. And I was like, all right, well, you're honest, and I'll accept that. So I think it's about being able to say no in the nicest, respectful way possible. We don't have to be a jerk about it. It's already giving them you're already delivering news that they're not going to want to hear. They want to hear that the answer is yes. So why not deliver the news with a little bit of dignity and respect? Mac, you're shaking your head a lot. I feel like you have something to say.
Man, so much, but I've got to rein myself back. I absolutely love what Roy said. I mean, it was so simple, but to the point of the fact that we need to be able to respect each other enough to be able to say no. And I love what Adrienne said in the comments about there's some people that may offer the help, almost hoping that you won't take them up on their offer. You know that intentions. Sometimes we kind of feel like we need to say what we think people need to hear, as opposed to just being brutally honest and letting people know where they stand with us. Because one of my best friends and I, many years ago, his wife would walk into the room and go, "Hey, do us a favor, go change your shirt." And he was like, he didn't know what that meant. Like, and what she was trying to say was like, go and tidy yourself up. And like, we're going out. Like, there was a whole message behind it. And we kind of got stuck with his line of, "Hey, dude, go and change your shirt," because it was like, you don't know what people are actually trying to say. They're just placating or just trying to make you feel good. And like you say, Felipe, when it comes to the house move, I mean, that's when you learn who your true friends are, because it's if they can't come, great. But there's nothing worse than saying, "Yeah, I'll come," and then those people don't show. I love that brutal honesty there, Roy. It's something that so many more people need to adopt, should I say, before I go on too much.
Wait, can I say something really quick? Oh my gosh, Roy.
I was watching your face, Martha, and I was thinking, oh, here it comes. I love
Oh man, I tell you, this week has been quite interesting. And I come across cases where they've reached out for support, and then they've been with another advocate and haven't received the support. And then I come with action items, and they're like, "Oh." And if they don't answer, I tell them, "Listen, I'm not going to waste your time if you don't want to be part of the program." So I'm just very transparent from the start. And it's like, we're going to do this, if you're okay with that. And, but because sometimes some people require that push, but sometimes I may be too strong, right? Because I may not be for everybody. So, and then I had another case. This was a couple weeks ago, a student who was facing homelessness, actually. And when we connected, he kept ignoring my calls. He kept ignoring my calls. And so I finally said in the message, I like the last message, I said, if you don't want to be part of it, I'll just remove you. It's not a problem. He immediately called, and he mentioned to me that that he needed some support in so and so places. So I went and made those phone calls. I got connected with the school, and I found out that they have internal resources. Mind you, he's been there for a couple years. And so I'm like, okay, let me follow up with him and find out why he's not getting the support. So long story short, he just needed a push to know that there is support. You just have to ask. And so I literally wrote everything down for him in text message on what to ask, who to call. And if he wasn't comfortable, we were going to make those calls together. So so actions is definitely what we want to see more. If we're going to be a support system to anybody, we want to see actions. We want to see talking, of course, but we want to see actions with that talk. No, not just talk. Thank you so much, Mac and Roy and Felipe. Oh my gosh, what great shares.
Martha, you brought up such great points there, I gotta say, because there's times when people are in need of support, and obviously there are so many people out there that have so many great skills, and sometimes we have to be emotionally intelligent to be aware of the support that they're able to give us. But oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh, it totally slipped my mind because you had.
No, but you're right, Felipe. We do, need to be sensitive too, right, to them.
Yes, but there was something that you said that sparked something, and it just went out of my head. It'll come back. But I do think also with what Roy and with Mac were sharing, we all have such a desire to want to get that support, and like you said, you're very action oriented. And when people, I remember now what I was going to say, and when you have those people that are willing to receive the support, like I said earlier, we've all heard the phrase, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. And that is something very important. Don't try to be someone's hero that is not asking for help. You think somebody needs help, sometimes they don't want the help that you're offering because they didn't ask for it, or they don't like the approach maybe. But we have to recognize that there are people out there that are not ready to get support or help, and that we have to just keep an eye on them. And I had somebody in my family who was a raging alcoholic for many years, and I said, I can't be around you until you get better, but the day you get better, I will be there to support you. They got better. It's been 3 years. We have a wonderful relationship, thank God. But again, to your point, someone who really means it is going to deliver it when they said they were going to. So with that being said, we have a very special guest up here, Mr. Kenneth Dunner. Kenneth, please let us know who from your team is actually speaking for you today. And what are your thoughts? Okay, that's
first of all,
evil laugh. I'm kind of worried. Please introduce yourself.
First of all, my name is Ken Dunner Jr. I just wanted to first wish all of you Happy New Year and savor the flavor of the awesomeness in all of you. And I enjoyed today's topic very, very well. All of you know that I don't play games. I tell it like it is. And I have no problem saying no. Everybody knows that. If I don't want to do something, I'll tell you no. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you want to give me ands or buts about it, Kane will come after you. That's all I can say.
Well, I'm proud of you that Kene, I've not seen Kene this year yet. So kudos to you on that. I don't know if it was a New Year's resolution or what, but well done on that.
No, Kane was out last night. Kane was out last night for sure.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Did anyone get hurt? Emotionally,
No.
I mean. Emotionally.
No, someone called me grandpa. That's why Kane came out.
Oh, okay. Mental note for anyone listening: do not call Ken grandpa. But I will say that you're right. The power of the word no. You practice it very well. You've practiced it with me quite a bit, actually. So I can attest to that. Mac, Joel, Martha, any comments on Ken's share?
Well, firstly, that laugh when it just comes out, it just makes us all feel much better. But the fact that when Kenneth says no, it's a nice, clear, like you just know where you are and there's no hard feelings about it. But you get used to when somebody is a little bit more brutally honest on a regular basis. I prefer people being brutally honest with me and I know where I stand than those people are a little bit wishy-washy. They say what you want to hear. And it's like, they'll rather let you down 100 times, but say what they think you want to hear than be brutally honest. And unfortunately, I can relate to that grandpa comment, hence why, another reason why the beard has disappeared. I'll leave it at I'll leave it at that.
That laugh, I don't know if that laugh makes me smile or if it scares me. It's a little bit of both, I think. It's almost a Joker laugh.
It is.
Well,
You,
well, good.
the Ken or Kane will come after you. It's
Well,
either Ken or Kane will come after you after the laugh.
Well, I'm glad that they're not coming after me, and I'm glad that you continue to be Kenneth or Kenny when you join us here on stage, because we love seeing him and hearing from him. So we appreciate you. And oh, hello, Brenda Miller. So a lot of great people here. Again, I highly recommend all of you that are in the audience listening and commenting. Thank you for commenting, first of all. But please take a look at the amazing people that are in this audience. Check out their profiles, reach out to them if they resonate with you, because there are some amazing people that do some amazing work, and this is clearly a global room. Also, I'd be remiss if I did not remind you all about a few quick housekeeping items. If you are not following us on our LinkedIn homepage, please do me a favor. Go ahead and go to our LinkedIn homepage of the Social Saturday Chat and give us a follow so you can get notified of all the rooms that we're doing every Saturday and some of the rooms that the other co-hosts are doing. And you can hit the little bell so you can get notified all the time. And of course, now that we're on the new platform of doing it on StreamYard, we are going to have them recorded on LinkedIn, but we still have them on your favorite podcasts of Apple, Google, or Spotify, so you can hear some of the past ones we've done when they were just LinkedIn audio. And as always, we'd love to hear your comments. Share in the comments topics that you'd like to hear us cover in the future. Make sure you join us on stage if you'd like to join us. And know that we are here every Saturday, same time, same channel. So we always welcome you to come and repost the room, invite your friends, let them know that we're going on live. But also do me a favor, let me know if you're watching Team Live right now. If you're Team Live, let us know. But if you're watching this and it's Team Replay, let us know your Team Replay. We appreciate the people that come back and watch it because they weren't available when it was live. So we always like to see those comments as well. So with that being said, somebody had Margaret, you had a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. I liked what Roy said, and it just reminded me of say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Just follow through, if you're gonna do it. And I love that you said the apartment, Felipe, because I've been there. I've been in that situation where only one person did show up, and it's like, what? um, but yeah, so yeah, if you're gonna help move, please show up. I was gonna say please show up. But yeah, so it says a lot about your character, right? Yeah. But I have to run. But thank you so much for this and everything that Social Saturday Chat does and everyone in it. I appreciate y'all. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you, Margaret Martinez. With that, I don't know how I got the mic back. I think because Zion left. So I'm going to hand it over to my friend up here, to Martha. So Martha, please take the microphone and please introduce our next speaker.
Oh my gosh, this kind of reminds me of like the Brady Bunch.
It does. Hi.
Hi, Felipe.
Oh, wait. I'm getting your long hair on me. Stop dropping your long hair. It's like my wife and daughter.
Oh my goodness, I just thought about that. Savor the flavor. Sorry, I got distracted there. Oh, well, thank you so much, Margaret. What was that, Mac? I didn't hear you.
I said, I think Ken A came out and was a little bit disturbing there for a second.
He had that little grin, that little like grin.
Okay. Teddy wants to say hi to everybody. Say hi, Teddy. So it looks like we have our next guest speaker, Chris. Welcome. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm not sure what the topic is, but just to tag on a little bit of what everybody was saying is in terms of scheduling and showing up in character and making sure you're a man of your word. I've been trying to as best I can. One of the things I want to say, maybe, perhaps for myself, for other people out there, might be having the same problem. I think one of the things I've experienced is with LinkedIn coming off of audio rooms and the multitude of different platforms people are trying to pull you towards. I've got 4 different calendars that sync up to my phone. So I've got one that comes for all my Zoom invites, one that comes for all my LinkedIn invites, goes through Outlook versus Google. So I have like multiple different calendars. So I'm trying my best to get them all onto one calendar right now, on top of like 4 other projects that I'm doing, just to make sure that I can attend all these events. So I think of what a little bit of what might be going on is just a little bit of the aftermath of the confusion and the chaos of just LinkedIn events closing down. So I think we just give everybody the benefit of the doubt, at least for the next week or two. And then if by the end of the month people aren't showing up, then you know who's really fallen off the map. So that'll just be my 2 cents on it. I think a lot of people are still navigating the transition. I just came from another social audio call prior to this, and they were having the same issues. And we just basically did like a vote of, hey, what days work best, and what platform could we coordinate on? How can we communicate the best? Because everybody seems to be having the same problems. And it's just once LinkedIn shut down the audio rooms, it's been difficult for everybody to coordinate in one central platform. So if anybody's got any suggestions, maybe open up a group page or another group page or something like that, make one super group. I have no idea, but whatever it is, I'm game on to keep these going, because they're a lot of fun and there's so much value in them.
Martha, can I jump in? So, Chris, I love the fact that you've come in with us, because one of the things about the fact that we now have replays, you can go and see context as well. So, one of the things that we were referring to with regards to showing up is, if you tell somebody, I'm going to come and help you move house, don't just not show up. And that was in the literal phase. So we weren't referring to our wonderful social Saturday chat community that are all over the place and not showing up yet. We know people got lives, we get that. And we also know that this new way of doing things has been a little bit of a shaky ground for a lot of people over the last few weeks. I mean, one of the things, just to your point, I actually ran a poll this week of just asking people how many people have actually stopped doing LinkedIn audios because it's not quite as seamless as it was before. And I don't know about yourselves, but there've been quite a few rooms that have just disappeared because people are, it's too technical to kind of go and run a third-party app and go on to all these, extra little links and stuff. Yes, it's harder, but I think we can still hold our stuff together and we can still make it work. And now with you being able to see our faces, I mean, Kene, it didn't come on initially, but he decided to stick his tongue out at us and come on screen for some reason. It's still a lot of fun, and I think we have to persevere, even though my personal feeling is I wish we kept the old format, but with seeing people's faces, I mean, Chris, we're seeing you sitting there in your car taking the time out. We're getting a new context with the new format, because we're kind of seeing where people are at, what they're doing, where they're going, and it just gives you a little bit more of an insight into the real human beings out there. Because before, I could have imagined you to look totally differently, even though your profile picture is there. But it just adds that extra human approach, knowing that we've got stuff on the go. Anyway, Martha, I'm going to shut up now.
Well, Martha, can I add something real quick? I'm
Yes.
sorry. Because one thing that I want to say to Chris's comment is, anyone that did LinkedIn Lives before social audio even came out, I think we all can attest that the attendance was bleak. If you had 5 people in the live, you're like, sweet. Now, these lives, I'm seeing 20, 30, 40, 50 people. That's audio room attendees, not your typical live attendees. And I think because we're bringing some of the social audio feel to this, and we're inviting people, because before, when people did lives, it was rare that they invite anyone up on stage. That almost never happened. So there's a new engagement opportunity here. And I will say, analytic-wise, my analytics have doubled on all the video audio rooms that we've done after the live ended. That means the replay factor is a huge factor. And the last thing I'll say is this: with all of the audio, all the lives that we're doing right now, there's so many opportunities for people to try something new, obviously. But when you have that ability to record them, download them, parse out pieces that people said that were valuable, repurpose them. That's stuff that a lot of places didn't have. And this is where our community is. I was on Clubhouse for 3 years. I loved Clubhouse. It taught me so much. But my biggest challenge was, how do I get my LinkedIn community over to Clubhouse? If I couldn't do it during the pandemic when people were stuck at home and their attention was kind of like limited, the chances of me doing it today are going to be twice as hard. So that's why my mindset is, I'm going to stay where I know it works and try to still create valuable content so people want to come.
Thank you, Felipe. I love your share, and I can totally resonate too. Since we've gone live, I have noticed new friends getting connected with me here on LinkedIn, but I'm also noticing a difference when it comes to public speaking. Because I was, to be honest with you, against the video. I really was not a fan of the video. And it is a scary feeling, but once you get out there, it actually, you start getting comfortable. Like Lachelle said before, I remember I had my first video with her and I did horribly. But that was, getting my feet wet, and then coming here on Social Saturday Chat. Now, the more I'm starting to get comfortable, I feel like I'm making sense as I'm speaking out loud, because sometimes when you get nervous, your words fumble, words don't come out right. Oh my goodness, so much that goes behind that. But Chris, I wanted to ask you the question, where do you go for support? We've all shared pretty much what that means, or where do we go. If you could share a little bit for us, that would be wonderful.
For support, I just go to a variety of different people that I've come to meet. Number one of them sitting here right on stage, Kenny. Whenever I've got a couple of ideas, I bounce them off of him. I've got Keith Keller, who's part of another social audio group that I'm in. So I ask him a bunch of questions. He's been on vacation the past week and a half with New Year's. And then I have my own little audio, or my own LinkedIn group that I'm going to try to revive, actually. It was called Saving Social Audio for a while. But since my newsletter is doing so well, what I'm going to redo is probably just turn it into something called my newsletter is called Sales Pulse Medical Trends. And it's just like a med tech deep dive blog. And essentially what I want to do is, people have started calling it the Sales Pulse family. So what I want to do is create like a little group in there where anybody who supports the newsletter or anything like that, or wants to be able to get in touch with me or do rooms like this, can come to set stuff up. So I'd love to have you guys all join. So I'm going to probably work on that group this week. But I just go wherever anybody's willing to offer help. Or under anybody, because people's schedules change all the time too. So somebody who is maybe committed to helping me one day has something come up, and then, I don't hold it against them. I just say, life happens, let's reschedule, or do you know anybody else who might be able to help me out with, hey, I'm looking to get on a live this week at this time. Do you know anybody who's doing something? So that's it. I just ask for referrals. I'm a sales rep, so I just do that by nature. Can you hook me up with somebody else who can do this, and I'll do a favor for you. Whenever you need one, I'll be here to pop on your show, be a guest, do whatever I can to help you out. So it's just trading favors, whatever makes the world go round.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing. So with that, I know we're getting close to time. I just want to leave you all with one last question, and you can leave it in the comments. And our hosts, please, if you want a response. What would you say to someone that may be listening, either here today with us or the replay, who may have a difficult time asking for support on what to do? So I'll leave it here, and I'll pass the mic because I know we're getting close to time. For me, I'll share real quick, is you can reach out to me. And if you're in the US, I'll be looking for support here in the US. But just be prepared if you're ready for actions, be prepared for that. So, but I'm here for support. Again, if you are having difficulties just for general life, like bills, healthcare, even housing, reach out, and I'll see what I can do on my end. So I'll pass the mic over to Mac. Thank you.
No pressure there. So, based on your question there, Martha, I think the one thing is, Take a deep breath, have a look at who's in your immediate circle of people that you feel that you trust. And based on what Roy was saying earlier about the people in your circle and things like that, one of the things that I've intentionally done this year, which I've never done in the past, is I've actually made a list of people that I want to surround myself with more this year, and the people that I want to stay in touch with, because it's so easy to jump on these calls and then just forget and have the intention. I know, I've got friends that I call best friends, but I realize that I haven't spoken to them in like 5-6 months. So like, why is that? And it's because when it comes to mind. So now I've intentionally gone and made a list of all the people in my life that I want to make sure I show up more often, even if it's just going through the list and going, I haven't messaged that person in a while, just sending them a text message, a WhatsApp or a LinkedIn message or a comment on their post. Because it's those people that you surround yourself with that will make the difference in your life at the point in time where you're at. So, when you really need that personal support, if you don't know where to go right now, start making a list of those people that show up in your life that you feel you want to spend more time with. An FYI, Social Saturday Chat community is just like a no-brainer. It's like each one of you are on that list. And it's growing because every week somebody new shows up and I'm like, man, that person's awesome. They're making a difference. I want people like that in my life. So start making a conscious list and see how your life changes. Because when you realize actually there's such a huge support network out there, but as Martha says, you've got to step out and just ask. But if you don't know where to look, start making that list now, because I bet you'll be surprised. I initially thought there'd be like 10 people on my list. I'm at about, 60, 70 already. And I'm like, wow, actually, my life's actually, wow, this is pretty awesome that I've got these amazing people that are willing to be in my life and vice versa. So I think that's my point for you. And by the way, before I move that on to everybody else, because of something specifically like this, I've actually mentioned in December that I'm putting together a accountability support network community where they'll be learning, not only LinkedIn stuff, but also basic business tips and advice. But one of the big things is accountability. Just having a network to you can show up with. And I want to give my Social Saturday Chat members direct access to that. So I've dropped a link to the comment. Anybody that registered, I don't care who you are. It was supposed to be 20, but don't tell anybody. The first 50 people that register, and I'm only giving this to Social Saturday Chat people, will get the next 90 days that they can come and spend a weekly call with me and our community just to support each other and be accountable and make 2025 a good year. So I'm going to leave that with you and pass the mic to Felipe. Have you gone?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so there you go.
So here with Copper. By the way, if my camera goes in and out, that's my iPad doing it by itself. It's auto zooms and corrects, so it's not me doing anything. But I've absolutely loved this room, and I appreciate it. I think one of the things I always remind people when they are needing support, especially if you have, and this is for people who have a job in the workplace, that workplace usually has an EAP, right, Copper? And that's the Employee Assistance Program. The Employee Assistance Program is something that is a free benefit that is confidential, that people can ask for help finding a therapist, financial help, addiction help, or just I need to buy a car and I don't know how to start, So that is a great way to get support. It is confidential, and almost all employers have it. They call it an EAP or an Employee Assistance Program. So please keep an eye on that. And I just want to shout out everyone that joined us, Brenda Meller and Meryl and Oki and Adrian and Lance and everyone that joined us here. It's been a great, great, great event seeing you all commenting and engaging with each other. And I encourage you all to keep on sharing the link and following us on LinkedIn and on your favorite podcast. As far as things coming up, I do have a room tomorrow. It's going to be on Restream. I think I'm going to move over to StreamYard. I think StreamYard is winning the war for me. But tomorrow is our Careers, Chaos, and Coaching with Melissa Houston. That's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern. So check us out for that. And that is on my page right now. And Copper might show up. Who knows? And then I'll be back here next Saturday with this amazing crew for another wonderful Social Saturday chat. With that, I'm going to pass the mic over to our friend Joel. Say bye, Copper. Bye.
Come on, brain. My brain did what yours does, Matt, constantly. As far as my my events coming up, one we've got our final episode of the season. Mac and I of season 3. We've got our final episode on Monday night. No, Tuesday night. Sorry, Tuesday night. At 7:30 UK time, and nothing else happening that's exciting in the moment. We are still looking for sponsors to continue what we're doing with regarding streaming, and if anyone knows of anyone who knows of anyone who wants to do that or can do that, then get in touch with Mac, or most likely me, because I'll be the one that's awake. Matt, I'll see you all next Saturday, and I'll be speaking to Mac straight away afterwards.
Well, I've got to throw something out there quickly, because Joel doesn't talk much about all the stuff that he does, even though he does lots of posting and various different things.
You are correct.
His mission to change the world and the kind of stigma around neurodiversity and autism is a huge mission for him. And the fact that he's been invited to speak in New York first week of March, and I'll be accompanying him to come. To go to New York, my first visit there. So if you're in New York and you're listening to this, make sure you reach out so that we can meet up and say hi to you guys and chat to you. But one of the other things as well, that Chris was talking about earlier about the difficulty of moving over to third-party apps and people deciding where they're going to go with their audios and various other things. One of the things that Joel's been doing for over a year now is supporting various clients of mine running lives. And it's a service that he provides, but he doesn't talk about it. So, if you are wanting to go and do your LinkedIn lives without any stress and anxiety, and all you want to do is just rock up and talk, Joel's your man to kind of help you with that. He'll set everything up. He'll do all the funny logos. He does intros and outros and all of those wonderful things. And he makes you look like a TV star. So it's pretty cool. So please do reach out to Joel and see how he can help you. If that's something you just want stress-free LinkedIn lives, he's your guy. So Joel, I've just thrown you in in the midst of it. But with that,
thank you.
I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's joined us this afternoon and this evening, this morning, wherever you are. Let's have some great conversations. If you've got topics that you want us to cover, go and drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear what are the things that you feel we should be discussing, because we're not here because we just want to catch up on a weekly basis, even though we like doing that. We are here for you, the audience that are watching. We want to be able to provide a service to you so that the conversation is worth listening to. And there are some tough conversations that need to be had, but it's all about educating, learning about other people. And you're such wonderful people out there. There's tons we can learn within our community and how we can support each other. So bring it on. I think for some reason we need to talk AI. I don't know why that's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Should we do that next week? Because we haven't quite
do that next week.
Yes.
Because AI is I speak to so many people on a daily basis, and they're just too scared of what's going on, or they're using it totally wrong. But there's so many good and bad things.
Or both.
And I'm open to talking about whether that goes in a good or bad direction. Either way, it's something that we all have to embrace. So next week we'll talk AI. With that, love you. Over to you, Felipe.
I just want to shout out to Chris and to Ken and to Roy for coming up on stage. We appreciate you all. You all are the ones that keep the engagement and the conversation going, and ask the questions that a lot of people in the audience are probably asking as well. So we appreciate you all, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say go Ohio State. The Ohio State. They just won the Cotton Bowl yesterday and going to play Notre Dame. So next week. So my daughter and my wife are alumni from there. So I am obligated but happy to support. And the Washington football team's not doing that either. Just saying. I'll stop.
Awesome stuff, folks. Go and have a great week, great weekend. Be intentional, and go make those lists of people you want to spend with this year. All the best. See you soon.
Adios, everyone.
Mac,
Have a good one.
Mac.
Yes.
Mac.
Uh-oh.
Am I on your list?
Do you even have to ask?
Am I on
You're
your
on
list?
my list, Kenny. Kenny, you're on my list.
Do you even have to
Thank
ask,
you.
Kenneth?
Thank you.
I can't believe you didn't ask me.
I want to make sure.
And
Save the flavor.
Joel, send me a message.
Joel,
Kenny,
send me a message.
can I get off that bad list of yours that I'm on? I don't like being on that list.
Because
You're
my
never
beard's
on
not
my bad
the other
list.
anymore.
Aw, thank you, Kenny.
Joel, I haven't been using WhatsApp for a reason, so send me a DM on LinkedIn.
Cheers, everybody. Go and have a great evening, morning.
Adios, everyone. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Save the flavor.